Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back another Hong Kong content review, diving straight into this one for Her Vengeance, a category 3 film from the director of a very interesting director that I've kind of gone back and forth with, but now settled on this is a very interesting kind of director that makes very kind of different movies every time. I've talked about quite a few of his movies already in the channel. He has done Seventh Curse, he's also done Story of Ricky, and he's also done Erotic Ghost Story and many others. I also reviewed The Cat, and I have seen the Ghost one he did a little while ago, and Man from the Gutter as well. So big director that's kind of really made himself known. A director has been very experimental through his kind of early 80s going into his 90s. A range of very different types of movies, from straight up thrillers to kind of, spooky kind of movies and, manga kind of adaptations. Very kind of experimental director, which I've grown to appreciate. There's a couple of movies still on my list that I need to check out. Peacock King 1 and 2 I need to check out on my list as well. But this one, it was a holy grail one for me to check out because I just had no access to view it. And now finally I watched it not too long ago, and it's for Her Vengeance. This was released in 1998, and this is quite a famous category 3 film. I think it is a remake of a Shaw Brothers movie called Kiss of Death, which I need to check out. It is on my list to check out now. I don't know if that film's any good. Please comment down below if it's decent or not. And with this one, it was okay. Yeah, a lot of hype for this one, and it didn't quite pay off the way I wanted it to. Didn't really have much to really say or much to really do, ultimately, apart from a few exceptions, which I'll get into in a minute. But this film is exactly what most kind of rape revenge movies kind of are, essentially. And it's the kind of subgenre that I never really kind of understand, really, if I'm being honest, because it's a very specific type of film you've got to be in the mood for, and two, what is your point? There's only so many times you can do creative or message kind of based kind of ideas into these kind of films, and it gets a little out of hand after the initial kind of shocking act that happens within this film especially, and in many other kind of rape revenge movies. What is your point? What are you trying to say about the character? What are you trying to say about the circumstances, the people around this person? What is your aim for your film? And the fact there are 6 I Spit on Your Grave movies is kind of really shocking to me, if I'm being honest. I don't really understand it. And this one, being a Hong Kong movie, being from a director that I'm definitely much more interested in than most, I thought this could be quite something special and quite a fun movie to kind of really get involved with, as fun as it can be. And obviously you got the initial act that did happen with these kind of really bunch of scumbag kind of characters that basically kind of rape her violently within a cemetery, and then she goes back home to Hong Kong to enlist in help of a very special person. We have Lam Nai-Choi in the film from the Mr. Vampire series, and he is the highlight of this film. One of the highlights, I would say. The fact that his character is a kind of ex-tryout kind of gangster who is confined to a wheelchair. He has no legs. He dishes out some epic kind of wheelchair kung fu mad skills, flipping people over, going out of his fucking chair and stuff. It's great. I wanted more of that type of kind of in the film itself. I think that could actually work into a spin-off movie. Hell, just have that character, that actor, do a whole movie, being this kind of maybe badass kind of character in a wheelchair, and him doing fight scenes and gunplay scenes. And you get a little bit of that throughout the film towards the kind of the middle, and especially towards the third act, where he goes very Home Alone for some reason, Home Alone kind of invasion type thing. That aspect was definitely a highlight, made me smile. But in terms of the actual film itself, with our main leading character, I thought she did a good job for the material that she was given. She does dish out some pretty nasty kind of violence, made a lot of kind of stabbing, kind of, and with pipes and all sorts of different kind of, tools that she's kind of finding around in places and taking out the scumbags one by one, essentially. And that's exactly what the film is. It doesn't really do much apart from that. It turns into a kind of Home Alone kind of, stand your ground third act, the kind of the club, and that's your film. It's nothing particularly that special, if I'm being honest. I thought her character journey wasn't really that memorable. I thought some of the shock factor was definitely shocking for sure, but a little bit over dramatic, a little bit over the top. Didn't quite work. You know, it needs to find a balance between, you know, realism and kind of like, you know, the shock factor. Ultimately, by the end, I felt the film a little bit disappointing. I didn't think it was very satisfying overall, especially when I saw a recent movie that I did actually enjoy a lot more in terms of a rape revenge movie called Miss 45, which I thought that was a lot more kind of, you know, focused, a lot more kind of, you know, raw, gritty kind of thing, realism kind of thing, with a character that is essentially a mute and slowly goes through a transformation from the shy girl into this very kind of disturbed kind of psychopath by the end of that film. That had something to say, that was trying to say something within its kind of its location, within its characters, its setting, within its our main kind of leading character, protagonist. And she didn't say anything throughout the film. And I got more of a performance than I got from my main leading character in this one. And not to say it's, you know, she's bad or anything. I just didn't connect. I didn't feel anything in terms of her journey. And, you know, I think there's other movies that have done it much more interesting than this film did. How even Watch Seeing of a Ghost has the same type of kind of plot line and has a lot more crazy, bonkers kind of, you know, black magic kind of, you know, sorcery stuff in it that kind of makes you invested in what's going on. This one, I thought the main character was just okay, wasn't that invested. Some highlight moments, obviously, with the wheelchair, you know, kung fu stuff. That's great. Some of the violent stuff is pretty cool, but, you know, nothing I haven't seen already before within other Hong Kong movies and other movies in general. So this one, didn't think it was anything that special, but definitely worth checking out. Again, maybe comparing it to the original movie Kiss of Death, which might be worth checking out down the line. So what are your thoughts and opinions on Her Vengeance? Please comment down below. Do you think Kiss of Death is better? Please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on that one, guys. What are your thoughts and opinions on the director? Do you think this might get a 88 film release down the line? Who knows? So in the meantime, guys, I'm for reviews. Signing out.